What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Seatman here, giving you guys my instant reaction to the 24-21 loss where the Vikings lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers in Dublin, Ireland. This was a hideous game. Started off incredibly slow, tried to come back in the fourth quarter. You had a chance late, but just at the end of the day, it was not good enough. Clearly, a lot of problems with this team. Injuries, probably the biggest factor why you lost this game. You lost Brian O'Neill early. You lost Ryan Kelly. You were already without Donovan Jackson. You were without Blake Cashman, Andrew Van Ginkel. Jonathan Grenard was in and out of the lineup. And that's just a lot to handle going against a good Steelers defensive line. But overall, wasn't good enough. And there's a lot of reasons besides that, not just the injuries. And you fall to 2-2 in a game where you needed this. Like, you look at the schedule after the bye, it is a gauntlet. And you needed to get this one today. This is a heartbreaking loss. But this is why you also hit that subscribe button. I do want to say thank you. We crossed over 62,000 subscribers during a watch party, so I appreciate all of you guys for hitting that subscribe button. But if you guys haven't just yet, change it. Hit that subscribe button today, and we keep you guys posted with everything you need to know around the Minnesota Vikings, and maybe we can hit 62,500 subs off today's show. All right, let's start off talking about the quarterback. Very Carson Wentz-y game. 30 of 46, 350 yards, 2 touchdowns. That looks great. You'll take that. But the turnovers were an issue. He took 6 sacks today. I felt like, obviously some of those weren't all on him. The offensive line was just getting their ass handed to him up front. Actually caught 7 sacks today for Carson Wentz, but he was inaccurate with the football a couple times. Clearly turnovers were an issue today. Like the 2 picks he threw were bad. He also lost a fumble today, which he got lucky that it didn't land in the Steelers' lap, but he just wasn't good enough. And, he is a backup quarterback. And I think today's performance put the whole conversation of, who's the quarterback after the bye once JJ is healthy. It is no doubt JJ McCarthy. You got to let that kid develop. We know what Wentz is. This is who he is. Like last week against the Bengals, when you're on script, when everything's going well, yes, he can play some good quarterback play. But today, when it's going wrong, backs against the wall a little bit. Like, you even just saw it. Like, the ball was coming out of his hand. It looked wobbly. He was throwing behind receivers a whole lot. He just wasn't that good today. But also the offense as a whole wasn't good. Like, you couldn't really establish any sort of run game. Jordan Mason, like, he looked good in his carries, but you got really no push up front. Like, as a team, you ran the ball 20 times for 70 yards, 3.5 yards per carry. That's not good enough, especially when you have a backup quarterback. When you have backup offensive linemen in, if you can't run the football, you're just going to be behind the 8 ball the entire game. And also the offensive line, like, it's tough to even blame them because, like, Michael Juergens had to step in. Justin Skule, I think, is the worst offensive lineman in the league. He had to step in, and that also just had a ripple effect on the entire offense. Because in the offense, the whole game, like, I'm sure once you go back and watch the film, TJ Watt, you have to chip him every single play. Like the Vikings over and over again had a tight end or a slot receiver in tight, and he would just chip them. And TJ Watt, like, that's still him making an impact because you got to give him 4 eyeballs every single play when you lose Brian O'Neill. But if you would have had Brian O'Neill, you could have left him on that island a little more. So that injury was massive. And then obviously Ryan Kelly going down. Also with both those injuries, I fully expect them not to play next week. Brian O'Neill, he was down on the field for a long time. Everybody was taking a knee. And Ryan Kelly, another concussion. I honestly wonder if he might retire. Like, he's had 5 concussions over the last 3 seasons. He's had 2 in the last 3 weeks. This has been a problem for him. I hope all is good, like, hoping for the best, but I would assume he is for sure not out there next week. And he probably, there's a chance he's not even there week 7. But the offensive line wasn't good. Carson Wentz wasn't good. This guy showed up. Jefferson was fantastic. He slipped on that one play at the end of the first half, which was obviously a big-time blow. But I actually liked the way they were using him a little more, getting him going over the middle of the field, those like short in-breaking routes. He was cooking early. And that's how you kind of manufactured a run game early in this game. Hit your back foot, get it out to number 18 quick. But it just wasn't enough. But then you also went away from that in the third quarter. Like, this guy, I'm pretty sure, had 8 catches in the first half for 99 yards, finishes the game with 10 for 126. Like, where was he in the third quarter? Jordan Addison had a good game. Obviously, a big chunk of this came off that massive play at the end. But, he was solid. You just got to get him more involved. He had that one drop, which was, bad, but also just get this guy involved more. He's a hell of a player. it's nice to have him back. But again, this offense just as a whole needs to be better. And when you have a backup quarterback, 3 backup offensive linemen, still no Aaron Jones, like it's just tough. Do want to give a massive shout out to this guy though. Jalen Redmond played his tail off. Had 2 big time sacks. He played some great football out there today. So massive shout out to Jalen Redmond. He is one of the best stories, within this Vikings organization. He was a UFL player just about a year and a half ago, and now he's out here making massive plays for this team. Didn't really see a whole lot from Isaiah Rodgers today. Did have that 1 block kick, which was massive in the first half, but also missed a couple of tackles. Definitely was not his 99.9 overall PFF grade day, but it was still just overall not good enough top to bottom. And, I hate using the injury card as an excuse, but you think about your top 10 players on this team. Van Ginkel, Cashman, O'Neal, Donovan Jackson, Ryan Kelly. Like, those are 5 starters who are also not just like a Jalen Naylor starter. Those are huge, huge pieces of this system, and they're all done. Hopefully we get a lot of those guys back, and, you're just in the mud right now. You're 2-2. You should be 4-0. Should have freaking won today. The Steelers are still not a good team. I don't know. We'll dive into more here in just a second, but you guys let me know, why did the Vikings lose down below? And also, I got to give a massive shout out to today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Now, you and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. And if you guys download the Prize Picks app today, plug in promo code CLNS. We'll hook you guys up with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, Prize Picks, it's super simple to play. All you got to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if you guys get your picks right, you could cash in. Now, Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 40-plus states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. They also put their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. They also offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. So download the Prize Picks app today. Plug in that promo code CLNS. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. But shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. I'm just flatly pissed off. You just didn't come out ready to play. You get a 3 and out. You start the game great. I think the defense is going to be cooking. You storm down the field offensively. Got to settle for 3. And then also, Aaron Rodgers. This guy's not that good anymore. But also Rodgers, he's almost like he feels like an all-time great MMA fighter who's got like a broken arm or something, where like he's clearly hobbled, but like still when you allow him to have a clean pocket, no pressure, he can still spin the damn football. And he was deciphering what Flores was doing at a pretty high level today. If you take out that 180-yard touchdown to DK Metcalf, he was 17 of 21 for 120 yards and no touchdowns. Like, he had that one massive play. Shout out to Rodgers. He did just enough, but it's not like he, impressed me. What was concerning, though, late in the game, the Vikings could not stop the run. Kenneth Gainwell, 19 carries, 99 yards, almost had 100 on the day, 2 rushing touchdowns. I don't want to give the defense an out, but when you're on the football field that much, that's going to happen. Like, this game felt so much like the Falcons game, whereas like the Vikings were just kind of hanging around. Now, obviously in this game, you had that breakthrough late in the fourth quarter, but the defense was just kind of keeping you in the game, and then they started giving up a lot in the ground, but they still, like, the defense still got to stop late. The defense handed the offense the football with 50 seconds left, no timeouts, and a chance to go tie the game. And you couldn't do it. And I understand. Defense didn't play as well as I thought they would, but this was not on the defense. This was on the offense today. You turned the ball over 2 times, 2 bad picks. Like, you're not going to win a lot of football games like that. And, DK Metcalf is a loser. This guy, he loves talking noise when he's up 21-6. He loves talking noise when they're up 2 scores. This guy keeps his mouth shut when it's a tie game. He baited Dallas Turner into a horrible penalty where he was just grabbing his face mask. I mean, the referees literally let DK Metcalf and Jalen Ramsey act like fools the entire game. After each play, they're doing extra stuff. Just not a fan of these guys. And the Vikings' interior offensive line, they're terrible. Michael Juergens is not a pro. Blake Brandel is awful. Justin School is definitely not a pro. But Keanu Benton killed him from the interior, 3 quarterback hits, 1.5 sacks. And, TJ Watt, even though the stat sheet, he did not fill it up today, this dude's impact was unbelievable. Because once Brian O'Neill went out, the Vikings had to chip or put a tight end on his side every single damn play. Wasn't good enough. Offense got behind the sticks. Also, the pre-snap offensive penalties, those have to get shored up. Like KOC, offensive genius. Never really see this with McVay. You never really see this with LaFleur. Shanahan. They never have these pre-snap offensive penalties. Now, understand when you have 3 backup offensive linemen in, it's going to be tough. But, so top to bottom, team wasn't good today. You laid an egg, and now you're behind the 8 ball. Because now also you got the Cleveland Browns next week. You're staying across the pond. Hopefully that gives you an advantage. But the Cleveland Browns got an unreal defensive line. They know how to get after the quarterback. The rest of their team stinks. But if they are able to get home, and Myles Garrett, whatever you think of TJ Watt, Myles Garrett is that times 2. He is one of the best players in the NFL. He is the best defensive player in the league. He is one of the best defensive players of all time, and he has been on a tear this year. So if you're not ready to go O'Neal, which you probably won't be, you've got to find a way to navigate, Myles Garrett a little better than you did TJ Watt. Because, listen, you just put a guy over there on TJ Watt's side. Yeah, he didn't wreck the game, but still having to do that over and over and over again, the offense just couldn't get anything going. So it's a disappointing loss. No doubt about it. Don't think the season's over. It's going to be a long year. If you guys remember, the Eagles were 2-2 last year. When the Vikings made the NFC Championship game in 2017, they started off 2-2. So they can go on a run. But if you guys made it to the end of today's show, just hit me with a SKOL down below in the comment section. And we'll see you guys next time. As always, SKOL Vikes.